What's up, everybody? I hope that you're all having a beautiful, blessed, and epic day. In today's video, we're talking about the start of a crash and how you need to save your cash. I like how it sounds, right? It's save your cash for the crash, and then the housing crisis and inflation concerns continue and keep on rising. Guys, this is happening every single day. I am dealing with this every single day, and it's about to get epic on what I'm going to share with you. Now, before I start, we're going to wait for a couple people to jump in and tune in, and I want to ask everybody who's joining right now, what city and what state do you live in? The reason is, at the end of this video, I'm going to be answering questions, and if you live in Cali, I'd like to know, versus Florida, versus Texas, versus other states. It's going to help me figure out where the hot markets are and what's happening where you are. We got already a ton of people joining. Wow, we just started and already 50 people have located this live. That is epic. Thank you all so much for joining in. I want you to comment below your state and your city. This is going to help me as I continue with this video and share with you some crazy stuff. This week I had 2 closings for clients, 1 commercial deal, 1 residential deal. Last week I had on Friday a commercial deal also closed. It was a 6-unit retail building, and that building was for roughly a mil point two after the value add is done, and we got it for half price. It was an insane deal and an opportunity as well. Okay, so everybody who's tuning in right now, one quick thing that I want you to know of is, please, I got it pinned right here. If you guys see value with this channel, you want to support it, you want to enjoy some exclusive content, join as a channel member. You can become a channel member. You got 3 tiers you can pick from. And then most importantly, join us on the Discord. It's for free. And every day we talk money, real estate, and business. You don't want to miss out on that. It's an opportunity and it's free. Free is always the best, as you guys know. Whenever you start taking some money or charging, it gets a little bit tougher, I understand, but free, you can't say no. So join the Discord, and if you got some money to support the channel, then support it by becoming a channel member. Wow, we got a ton of people. What's up, Ramus? Hope you're doing great, brother. Cali, New Jersey, LA, Chicago, Athens, Texas. Athens, Texas, what's up, what's up? We got Texas in the house, Hawaii, Newton. What is that? What's his name? The guy who came up with the light bulbs? Oh, I forgot his name. Jimmy Neutron. No, not Jimmy. Not Jimmy Neutron. Whatever that guy's name is, but Jimmy Neutron. Oh, Thomas Edison. What? What does that have to do with Newton? I don't know, but it still sounds like it's similar. Okay. We're not here to talk about Newton or nobody. I got my phone right here, and on my phone, the Dallas Morning News. Just for all of you to know, I'm from Dallas, Texas. And all my life, I've been born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Now, do I see myself moving out of Dallas, Texas, or Texas in general? I don't know what life brings, but as of right now, I do not see that. I love Dallas, Texas. It's a beautiful, beautiful city and state, opportunity, and there's so much that's going on down here, and we are on the massive boom, especially during this market crisis. It's just crazy on what's happening in this market, specifically over here in Dallas, Texas. Now, over here, there's a headline news that came out. It came out saying on the Dallas Morning News, let me show you guys this. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it came out saying, buyer offers $300,000 over asking price for South Lake home, realtor says. $300,000. In South Lake, Texas, if you don't know, it's in the areas of DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth areas. It's near Dallas. South Lake, Texas is very nice, gorgeous homes, many million-dollar homes. This house got an offer of $300,000 over asking price just to win it. And look what it says. This was on the news as well because it's just ridiculous. The agent he knows worked with a buyer who offered $300,000 over the asking price for a South Lake home in the $1 million range because the property had so many offers. That additional money, the $300,000, was still tight according to the real estate broker. Still tight. Meaning they still had possibly not a chance to win the house. $300,000 over asking. I don't know what in the world this market is doing at all. 300K over asking in Dallas, Texas is unheard of. We're hearing in Austin, Texas, they're doing a couple 100,000 over asking. In Cali, a house for 4 or 5 million, if somebody put 300K over, it kind of makes sense. But in Dallas, Texas, where houses aren't that expensive or supposed to be not that expensive, wow. Unreal. The other day I had a closing for my client. The house was for $269,000. Cheap, nice, beautiful, small little home. We ended up securing that home for $301,100. I also, out of my commissions, paid for the title policy, which was about $2,000. $303,100 altogether, plus we paid for the survey. We took no home warranty, we did no inspection, and we negotiated nothing. We competed against 28 other real estate agents who put in offers for their clients. 28. 2, 8. 8. Those are fours, but, 2 fours. That's the market we're in. Now, now, if you don't know, I also do a lot of commercial real estate. That's a big portion of my portfolio. Now, I'm on the commercial real estate side. We're talking about a housing crisis. On the commercial real estate side, there's a lot of movement going on. Believe it or not. When you're talking about industrial real estate, it's doing great. Office real estate's still shaky. Retail real estate, at least the shopping centers that I'm leasing out on, I'm still getting calls, leads, I'm getting prospects, I'm getting contracts. Yesterday, I had a nail salon who just came into a space, a 1,200 square foot space plus or minus. We signed a 10-year lease with them. I negotiated the crap out of that deal. And I got the landlord $4 per square foot more than what he was willing to take. And I boosted it up for a 10-year lease to help him. Got him a guarantee. We got the financials. We got everything. And they're a solid tenant. Another tenant on another shopping center wants to open a sweet spot, about 1,300 square feet. They got a couple 100,000 liquid. And then we also negotiated that one for a 10-year lease. So I'm getting movement, but I have shopping centers in the hood. I got shopping centers in the nice areas, and I got shopping centers in the mid-ranges. And the hood is a lot tougher than the mid-range and the higher range, because the hood, you're getting people who don't qualify, who can bail in 2-3 months, who don't care about affecting their credit, versus the top tier, the higher tier, they're concerned for that. So when I say the hood, guys, I just mean in rougher areas. I don't mean the hood of actually the hood, just rough areas is what I'm pertaining to. Rough areas meaning areas that are not safe, areas that are a little bit dangerous and so forth. Actually, when I first started leasing areas not in the rough areas, I used to wear a suit over there until I realized that's not the right move to make when you're in the dangerous spots. You go there not in a suit and you go there strapped. Okay. So as we continue, now you're seeing that these houses are going off the charts, and you're probably somebody who wants to buy a house. You're probably someone who is looking at a house for a couple years or saving money, and now you're stressing out from these markets. Now, keep in mind, everything you guys are sharing or saying in the comments, I'm going to get back to them once I finish my points, so don't shy away from asking a question or anything. And if you have a specific question you want, you can hit that donate button right there. Put a penny, put $1, put $5, whatever you want. It's going to highlight your question, and I'm going to prioritize that ASAP and get back to you. Now, we got inflation concerns, guys. People are scared from inflation. People are scared saying, don't save any money. They're saying, throw your money into assets, throw your money into gold, throw your money into Bitcoin, throw your money into stocks, throw your money anywhere. Just don't keep it liquid. Don't keep it as cash. But the truth is saving your cash for a crash is the most smartest move that you could make. Even if inflation hits. Now, if you have a couple $1 million, allocate some of that to investments, but don't go blow it all, because what happens when a crash happens and you got tenants not paying, you got bills you have to pay, you got a job that you just lost or a business that's not doing well, you need to have liquid cash to be able to float and survive. So don't take the opinion of others saying inflation is coming, toss your cash away. If inflation hits at 3%, and you have $100,000, your $100,000 now becomes worth $97,000. $3,000 less over the course of the year, which is less, yes, but you still got $97,000 that you can work with, float around with, and grow from, rather than just tossing it even in a bad investment because inflation's coming. Now, when you talk about inflation coming and you got $10 million, what's 3% of $10 million? That means $300,000 from your $10 million gets wiped out, assuming inflation's at 3%. That's a lot of money. So you want to allocate some of that. You got $100 million, that's $3 million that gets wiped out. You got $1 billion, that's $30 million that's being wiped out just by a year of inflation being at 3%. So guys, if you got $1 billion and you're gonna lose 30 million due to inflation, allocate your money, put it some places. But I'm gonna have to assume that a lot of us here who are watching don't have $1 billion. And if you did, slide into my DMs and let me know. But you guys understand where I'm going from, right? Where people are saying spend your cash, put it in assets, invest it. Inflation is coming. They're so scared. Don't go blow your money because you're scared that you're going to lose some of your money from your money, if that makes any sense. So be careful on that aspect. Now, yes, assets are rising. Yes, they said eggs and milk is rising and bread is rising and car prices are rising. I think 10% was in the month of April or May. 10% it rose. Yes, I understand that there is numbers that are scary for the markets and everything is a bit shaky, but that doesn't mean that you go blow your cash because you're scared of inflation. People who are scared of inflation or should be scared of inflation is Warren Buffett, who's got $130 billion liquid cash just sitting over there. That you might want to be scared. But even then, he's still keeping it liquid because he understands if a crash happens, he's going to buy companies and assets for pennies on the dollar. If a crash happens. We're not saying it's guaranteed, but if it does, save your cash for the crash. Keep that in mind, guys. All right, so I'm jumping in right now to see what you guys have. If you guys got any questions or anything, drop them now. Hopefully, I'm going to catch them and see what you guys have to say. We got Sergio saying, good luck. The markets are all crazy. The government is manipulating, ruining everything. Interesting. Now, the stock market's manipulated. The crypto markets are manipulated. Guaranteed. It's literally the movements are as if that's exactly how the hedge funds or the computers or the bots want them to move. Completely guaranteed manipulated. Millions and billions are being made while the lower people are getting wiped out. So it is dangerous, and you're competing against computers who are algorithmic and against hedge funds who's got billions and they got power. So if they got power and you got 10K, I don't know if you're going to be able to stand a chance against them, so you want to be careful. You don't want to put your life savings. We have people saying the stock market, they're watching it, they're looking after it, they're keeping their eyes on it. Collinsville, Texas. We have Jana saying, what if the market crashes and I bought it at the top? That's the fear is in 2005, the market was picking up. 2006 up, 7 up, right? 2008, it was at its peak. And a lot of people bought at 2008 because they were in the same position we're in today, where they're like, it's going to get higher. It's going to get higher. It's going to get higher. From 05 to 06 to 07 to 08, it's going up. And people are like, we're missing out. We need to buy today before things get higher. And then 08 hit and then it went down. A lot of those people who bought at the peak and they bought a lot of investments or a lot of things, they filed bankruptcy. They got wiped out. They got foreclosed on. They lost everything. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to lose everything. You're saying if I bought at the market, what do I do? If you bought at the highest point in the market, what do I do? How big of an investment did you make? Is the price still over there? Is it below? Is it high? Have you already lost significantly? What position are you in right now? And is there a way out if you don't feel confident in that? Answer those. Ferrier says, when working on our house for months, hoping to get on the market soon. Awesome. Make sure that when you're doing your house to get it ready for the market, make sure that you're not over remodeling it. You're not overspending. You're only spending where it's needed. You're coming in the market at a very competitive price and letting people bid it up. And don't come in too greedy, wanting to make an extra 100,000. Come in smart and watch how the prices actually rise by itself. The Jedi Order. He's basically saying everybody come out to Laveen, Arizona. I don't advise you telling people to go somewhere that's cheap, because if they go to it, it's now going to become expensive. Matt says 28 first-time buyer. Wait until late 2021 or pull the trigger late summer, early fall. Matt, there's no defined time on when you should pull the trigger. If you pull it now, if you pull it in the late 2021 or in early 2022, if you pull it in the summer or early fall, it just doesn't matter, because the government's keeping the interest rates low, inventory staying low. If that lasts until then it's going to stay competitive. If you have the patience to wait and you're able to wait and you don't have a lease expiring, then why not wait it through to see what's going to happen? If you don't and you want to make a move, then make the move, but just make sure your finances make sense. Cropper, just sold my home $100,000 over ask in WA. Wow. Looking at Amarillo, Texas. You're going to be coming down in Texas, huh? Not a bad idea. Why don't you think of that, and why don't you make the trip down here? E. Elliott, not many foreclosed REOs in the market. Do you expect this to change? I expect it to change 100% in the near future. You have a backlog of over a year and a half almost of foreclosures, a backlog of people who aren't paying their mortgages. All of that has to come into the markets eventually. If it doesn't come in a month, in a year, in two, it'll come on the third. You can't avoid it. It's going to happen. Balaji saying Little Elm is expensive. Little Elm, for those who don't know, is in Texas. It's getting expensive. Honestly, it's getting very expensive. Little Elm was a little place, and now it's supposed to be called Big Elm. It's growing more. It's in a hot area. People are loving it, desiring it, beautiful homes, and it is getting very expensive. Richard is bringing his experience, saying, I bought at the peak of '08 a home for $95,000. Today it's worth over $200,000. The past 40 years, real estate has always gone up, even with these real estate crashes. I love it and I agree. But let me tell you something. If you bought it for $95K in 2008 and you were able to hold and sustain the down market, then of course things are going to get a lot easier for you. But if you aren't able to sustain that down market and you basically put all your money into that house and it crashed and you were renting it, it's going to be tough for you, because there's not going to be a way for you to opt out of that house since you already bought it, if that makes any sense, because you'd be underwater if the market crashed. Liberty Return says mortgage equals death pledge in Latin. This is done on purpose. Does it really mean that? That's kind of sketchy. Nadia Luna says saving for a home now, looking to buy one in summer 2022, waiting to see what the market is going to be like. If you have the patience and you can wait it out and see. But some people are scared it keeps going up. Others are panicking, saying that it's going to go down. So you're going to have to pick and choose what you want. Jesse Balderas, shout out. Thank you for the $5. Much love. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. He's asking, any stocks going strong in the bear market right now? Keep up the good work. Texas. Any stocks going strong in the bear market right now? When we're looking at stocks, we're looking at the overall picture of the major stocks. When you talk about, is there any stocks that are doing well during this bear market, there's always going to be those producers that perform. The ones that are going to be up 10, 20, 30% when the rest are down 10, 20, 30%. And right now you can say 80, 90% are down. Then you can say there's a 10% that's up. Specifically, the ones that are up, I have no interest that I'm looking into them or anything, because I'm looking at the big players, the big names. You're talking about the Amazons, the Apples, the tech world, the Teslas. You're talking about the Starbucks stocks, the Kroger stocks, those type of stocks. Those that are doing good in a bear market right now are those that are that kind of go the opposite of the markets in general. Hope that helps your answers your question. Thanks again for the $5. Now I can go buy myself another strawberry acai Starbucks Trenta. Okay. Johnny, would you sell if you can get net over 100K? Johnny, my house that I live in, I can possibly get net over 100K within 4 or 5 months of purchase, and I wouldn't sell. Hope that answers it for you. It's not just about netting 100,000. It's about netting 100,000. Paying your taxes on the 100,000, relocating to a new apartment or a new house, buying new furniture for that same place, or getting moving expenses there, then having to re-find another house, the same house that you love, the same house with the same layout, the same house that you fought for, and you're going to have to pay a premium to win it in this crazy market. That net 100K becomes a net 20, 30K, and you're like, I don't want this anymore. Makes sense? It's sometimes not worth it. And keep in mind, my client, I helped him buy a house in 2020. He paid $639,000 for it. Okay? And then, literally 2-3 months ago, he calls me and he goes, Karam, somebody offered me on my house $850,000. Let's do the math. Off-market deal, which means that he's got no commissions involved. He paid $639,000. He was gonna net $211,000. Probably with closing costs and stuff, he might come out like $205,000. $205,000 in the matter of a couple months he could have netted. But he told me, what are the houses going for? What's the next house I'm going to move in? If I'm selling my house for $850,000, then what am I going to go buy? I'm going to have to go overbid the same $200K I profit. I'm going to have to go overbid that. So it's tough to balance around in this market, guys. Derek Gonzalez says, if you sell, where will you live? You have to buy back into the same market you sold. Derek, I agree 100%. And keep in mind, there is some people who before they sell, they lock up a house and then they have the privilege of closing it and then selling their house. So let's answer that question. If you sell in a hot market and you get a big profit and then you want to buy in a hot market, you're going to have to pay a premium. I helped a client buy a house for a steal price, okay? And when I say steal, it was over asking, but compared to what they were selling their old house for, it was a steal. So the new house that they bought for was for $410,000. The old house that they sold it for $365,000, right? They upgraded into a brand new house, into more square footage, into a nicer area, into better schooling for about $30,000 to $40,000 more on top of their old house. But the reason they were able to do that is because we were hunting for houses. We caught this one before it hit the market. We had a good relationship with the agent and we locked it up before it even hit. Okay? And we were able to get this house for a very good price. So if you're selling in a hot market and buying in a hot market, if you have the privilege to get a house under contract before you sell yours, you could hit the home run. My client did it. We got E. Elliott. Commodities producers will do well in inflationary environments. They can raise prices. Gold, silver should do well and maintain purchasing power. Everybody runs to gold and silver whenever the markets are getting sketchy, don't they, right? Omar, differences between Texas and Florida for investment properties. I'm going to assume Texas is cheaper than Florida. I'm going to assume Texas, not assume, I know, doesn't have as many hurricanes as Florida. I'm going to assume that Texas has a lot of opportunity that's happening here for still affordable pricing. Florida, for Texas, I'm not assuming because I live here, I know. Florida, I don't have much insight on there. I know that they're very competitive with Texas, but investment properties, I love to buy them where I live. If you live in Florida, make the move there. If you live in Texas, make the move there. In 2008 to 2009, BlackRock was purchasing single-family homes. Will individuals be competing against large corporations, or are they now? Elliot, they're already competing against corporations. I know entire subdivisions, 50, 100, 200 houses, literally being built and sold to a corporation that is completely making it into a rental community. Imagine. You're seeing corporations whenever we're competing right now. When we're putting offers, I'm getting houses that I'm selling. Corporations are sending me offers. And they're sending cash offers and they're coming in hot. Hotter than a normal buyer. It's not easy. So yeah, we're already seeing that. Najib is saying, I have a client who's looking for a 4-bed in DFW for 2,000 year build and up to 280K. Who got something for me? We'll give you a 3-month lease. He's over here marketing. I thought that was a question. Soraya says, why hasn't the economy crashed? Can the economy keep maintaining where it is? Soraya, yes, it can maintain where it is so long governments keep on pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing the inevitable. right? If they keep on doing that, then it's going to be hard for it to crash because they're floating the market. They literally stated in the stimulus packages that was given specifically for the housing market, to help the housing market, saying that we are doing this to protect from a housing crash, from an eviction crash, a foreclosure crash. They stated that. They know that. They know if they don't do these moratoriums and these protections, they know exactly what's going to happen. So Wall Street is buying Main Street. California has more demand than supply. What's going to happen? So the rule of economics is more demand, less supply. It's going to keep going up. There's nothing that can change. If there's so much demand and such little supply, everybody's going to want it. It's like I'm going to buy the suit. There's only one suit, and there's 100 people who want that one suit because these 100 people have a wedding tomorrow. Oh, what's going to happen? They're going to outbid the heck out of that suit. LB, I'm in contract on a house and don't close until December because sellers are building. I can rent my current condo, $500 a month, or sell and wipe out all debt, $65K student loans. Is it worth to sell then? Man, that's a tough one. Okay. So you have a condo that you can rent out for $500 a month, or you can wipe out all your student debt. Let me ask you this. $500 a month, is that net after all your expenses? And then let me ask you this. You're $65,000 in debt. What's the interest on that debt? And what's the interest on the condo that you have? How much are you paying on the condo for interest, and how much are you paying on the debt for interest? And then we'll see how that works out. If the $500 a month can cover your monthly payments for your debt of the $65,000 plus keep you $200-300 after that, then it might make sense to keep it. If it can't, and you have to still pay on top of the $500 for your debt, it might make sense to just wipe it out, start clean, and then move forward fresh. We have them saying, I make a good income and want to buy a house, but I'm worried that I'm going to buy something and it is going to lose $100K in value if things crash. Should I buy anyways? If things crash, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to lose a lot of money. So it won't just be you if you bought. But if your intention is to live in the house for 5, 10, 15 years, it won't matter if it crashes because your mortgage payments are going to stay the same. If it crashes, then you just have to float with the crash and not have to sell. But if you end up having to sell, that's when it gets tricky. So ask yourself, how long do you plan to stay in the house? And if it's long, then the crash wouldn't matter to you. LB, I would net $500 a month. Student loan debt is 8%. So your student loan debt is extremely high. Extremely high. How much is your monthly payments for your student loan debt? Tell me that, please. Okay, your student loan debt is $509 a month. Yeah, me personally, just based off of what you're sharing with me, you could keep the asset and just break even every month. But what if the asset goes underwater? What if the asset has problems and maintenance and things you have to do for it? You'll wipe out all those gains quick. Plus, you're still paying the other $509 for student debt. LB, it's just going to be, from what I'm seeing right now, I would probably sell the condo, wipe out my debt, and start clean. $65K student debt is not a little. And if you're able to wipe that out, it's going to open so much more opportunity for more new debt at 2, 3, 4% versus 8% like your student loan debt, and you'll be able to scale better and bigger. $509 is a big monthly payment that'll kill your debt to income. We got Wow saying, what kind of percentage of your buyers are investors? Not that high of a percentage, to be honest. I mean, I don't know how to put it in percentage wise, but I got investors. You know, when you talk about commercial real estate, almost all of those guys are investors, right? When you talk about purchasing houses, I'm probably the major investor for when I buy house flips and stuff like that. But I don't know how to put a percentage on it, to be honest. Nelson, it doesn't matter if you stay in the house for 10 to 15 years. If you buy in a high market, is because if the market crashes, always guaranteed, it goes up, crashes, and then goes back up. It's a cyclical pattern. It follows it every single 10, 15 years. It goes up, crashes, up. Real estate in the long term always goes up. You just pray that you don't get caught when the real estate's going down. So if you're buying today, overpaying 100K and it crashes, then you just got to pray you don't have to sell. You can continue living there and you don't have to worry, because when it comes back up, you can then decide to sell. LB, anytime, boss. Thank you for questioning and thank you for giving your personal info to be able to get advice. I appreciate that, and I'm so blessed that you trust me with that information and that advice. Thank you. Courtney says, MA overruled the CDC's moratorium last October. Now everyone's getting foreclosed on and homes are going first, cheap to auction. The crash started in MA before anywhere else. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you so much for that insight. Guys, you have to understand that this is a state-by-state, case-by-case. Some states say no, you can evict. Some states say no, you can evict. So it is interesting to hear that and to see that. Venkat, I quit the rat race after losing 70K overpriced in Frisco. In Frisco, 70K overpriced isn't even that much, to be honest. 70K is like you're seeing that on houses that are worth 250, 300K. In Frisco, you're looking at houses easy $500,000, $600,000, $800,000. Frisco, Texas, by the way, for those of you that don't know, is one of the hottest, the fastest growing, and the most successful area in all of Dallas-Fort Worth areas. Frisco, Texas is a massive boom. All right, guys, my voice is getting lost. I'm going to get back to business. Happy Saturday to everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I got the link pinned right here. Become a channel member and join the Discord. The Discord is for free, and becoming a channel member, you have 3 tiers you can pick from. Guys, God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here on a Saturday, for getting your mind right, your hustle right, your education up. And guys, I'm so blessed and so appreciated for all of your support, your kindness, your comments, and most importantly, you guys sharing the content and subscribing. Anyways, guys, I'll see you. I upload 3 times a week. Hit subscribe if you haven't. And like this video. We got over 330 people on this live. Please hit that like button. Smash it, break it, destroy it. I want to see the numbers going up right now. Click, 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 click that like button. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all later. Thanks for the questions, and I'm out.